What's up everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, welcome to the channel if you're new and welcome to this new video in which I wanted to discuss three different altcoins for April that can actually do well. Of course, the market circumstances right now are incredibly uncertain and I've heard a lot of people looking for coins, or at least a lot of people have asked me, alright, well, which coins can I buy? Which coins still look good to actually make some gains potentially in April, but just in general. And first of all, look, the markets are going to remain uncertain, at least for the time being, all right? So you should be prepared for that. And ultimately, at this point of time, I actually think some sort of short-term trading or short-term swing trading is best to do, all right? And you have to be very, very careful in picking the altcoins you're buying. Make sure they're uncorrelated to a certain extent. That way, they're also relatively safe against all the headlines. But in this video, like I said, we'll talk about three altcoins that I think, regardless of what the market does necessarily, can do well, or at least against the market will be relatively strong. And the first one, and right now we're taking a look at the chart of the Bitcoin dominance, and that is for a reason. Because the first coin, it's a bit of an anti-climax. It's Bitcoin, all right? If there's one coin right now in the entire crypto market that's actually still interesting for not only retail investors to buy, but also for institutions, which we have seen a lot throughout the last year through the ETFs, for example. But also we've had numerous cases in the news of Bitcoin actually being used as collateral, for example, but also in real trade. It's Bitcoin, all right? Bitcoin will be, and that is very well seen with the Bitcoin dominance. It will be the strongest coin out there, all right? There might be, like for example, the last 2 weeks, we saw that Fartcoin has actually outperformed Bitcoin, and that is going to happen here and there. But ultimately, the safest coin to still buy is Bitcoin, and at this point of time, Bitcoin is trading at 77,000. From there to the top, that's actually a decent gain as well. I mean, let's say in the next year we're actually able to get there again. That's an amazing ROI for the next year. Even if we drop down lower and you average average your entry lower, that's still amazing potential profit against limited risk, especially now that we do not have any fears of Michael Saylor blowing up yet, all right? Which at some point of time that might become a narrative. At this point of time, not yet. I mean, Bitcoin still the best asset to buy during dips. The main support levels we're looking at right now are right here between 73 and 69,000 to potentially buy. After that, it would be 58, 55,000. Those would be the main levels. I do not, at least not on the short term, expect us to drop down lower. But that's I don't want to spend too much time talking about that, because I mean, it's Bitcoin. Obviously, it's strong. It's a good pick. The next coin I wanted to talk about is Hyperliquid. All right. Now, if you do not know Hyperliquid, I've talked about this quite a bit in the past. It has done relatively well, especially if you compare it to the launch back in December. But ultimately, recently, this has been relatively strong as well. We've had some bad news back in March. There were some sort of exploits of their platform, but since then it has gotten better. They've fixed the exploits, and in general, Hyperliquid fundamentally is still one of the best projects out there, and that's for different reasons. The first reason is that they actually have a product that's being used. As you can see right here, they have about $240 million locked, and annualized, they actually make a revenue of $450 million. All right, so this is a project that actually makes revenue, which is always great. Those are the projects you want to invest in. And what makes it even better is that they use a percentage of that revenue through their HLP, their Hyperliquid liquidity provider, to buy back hype tokens. All right. So therefore, it's and especially what we have seen recently is that the activity in the market has heightened. All right. The volume has been relatively high, as most of you know. So what we see is that the volume on Hyperliquid has also been relatively high. The revenue has increased, so that means that more hype tokens are being bought up. Now, what I do want to say, especially about Hype, which is the name of the token, and the next coin we'll talk about, is that you should still be relatively safe with how you're buying this, right? So you cannot just blindly buy these coins. You still have to look for good confirmations, good confluences before buying. But ultimately, if you do that, I do think Hype is one of the altcoins that's first of all showing some good strength now as well, but throughout April can be a great pick. And then the last coin is going to be extremely difficult to trade, but I still wanted to have it on the list, and that is the Trump meme coin. Yes, believe it or not, even with all the controversial activities right now, I still think the Trump meme coin can be a great pick, especially for the middle of April. And that's for one major reason. I mean, first of all, obviously, if you take a look at the chart right here, but also if we grab the candlestick chart real quick right here, it's been in a massive downtrend. That is true, and that's not all of a sudden going to change, even though we had some decent volume come in here. So this, purely technically, this could be the bottom. But usually the bottom is formed when a lot of volume comes in, but that's beside the point. What's going to happen is that vesting is going to start. All right, so in about 9 days, so that's the what is it? The 18th of April, the middle of April, new Trump tokens will be released into the public. All right, so they will be released into circulation. What's very likely to happen, and we have seen it in the past, is that people know that, people anticipate that that's going to happen, and they're going to short the price of Trump. Now, Trump still has massive volume right here. You can also see some strong volume coming in here from this bottom. So therefore, I think the Trump meme coin can have some, or at least has a high probability of getting a massive short squeeze. I do not think this is going into an uptrend, but because of the short squeeze potential with these new tokens going into circulation, I do think this is one of the coins that can actually do well. Now, personally, the main two resistance levels I'm looking at right now are 7.7 and $8. Personally, I would wait for a reclaim of either only 7.7 or both of those levels before entering, but definitely, given these circumstances, a coin to watch. And those are the coins, all right? Our big friend Bitcoin, Hyperliquid, one of the only projects actually making real revenue and buying back their tokens with that revenue. And then perhaps the underdog, the Trump meme coin. But that's it for now. If you do have any questions, anything, let me know down in the comments or join the Telegram and Discord groups. That's much better as always. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.